I mean, hot being the operative word because it's snowing outside and there are no bones about these ribs. Well, at one point there were bones, but not anymore. This is really lovely because you can eat it end to end. You can cut it end to end. That's the nice thing about these Rastelli fully cooked original or honey barbecue boneless ribs. You get 3 18-ounce racks, and you can see Ray the Third is cutting them right down the middle and folding them over on themselves. There's not a bone to be seen, but the bones were there at one time.
They were.
When they were cooked. Is that right, Ray?
That is right, David. This starts as a bone-in baby back rib, and believe it or not, this process is the only process in the country that we can actually bring this product to you and sell it to you in a boneless form, because our good friend and partner Al Bubba Baker and his family created this about 10 years ago and have a patent for it. So they are literally the only ones in the United States that do this. But it's all boneless baby back ribs that you can cut with a fork and a knife. And David, you could see exactly where those bones used to be.
Now, were they cooked and smoked with the bones in?
Yes, so they are dry rubbed. We actually let them sit for about 4 hours in that dry rub, so they marinate very deeply and get into that meat really nice and rich. Then we slow smoke them for about a 2.5-hour smoking process. Then we remove the bones truly one by one. And I'm going to take you over to the block, if that's okay, David, because I want you to see exactly how we do this.
Because once you have removed the bones, that's when you sauce, because it gives the sauce a road to travel.
That is exactly right. We sauce at the very end. But David, this is a full rack of baby back ribs. And when Al Bubba Baker created this product many years ago, his wife loved ribs, but didn't like to get messy, just as I think many of us do. This is a full rack with the bones in. I want you to see. I can't cut through this with a knife, right?
Because the bones are there.
Because the bones are there. Exactly right. But this one, we can just go right down the center of the rib with our knife and fork, just like we would a steak. And the reason is, after we cook this rib, we physically remove the bones one by one, just like you're seeing here, with really skilled labor, right? Taking all those bones out to make sure that
it's not a machine process.
It is not a machine. It's all very slowly done. But we take them out just like you see there, and there is no meat left on them. As you can see, all that meat is going to be left in your boneless baby back rib that you're able to bring to your home.
Now, we only have 2 flavors, and we have original and we have honey barbecue. If you want honey barbecue, we only have 2,100.
Wow.
If you want the original, only 1,400. We also have auto delivery where you can change your flavor. Now, this first flavor is?
That's the honey barbecue, actually. I started you right off with the honey.
Okay.
And it actually has a really nice, kind of sweet flavor. I like to call both of these sweet and smoky, right? So the honey is a little bit more sweet, where the original is just a little bit more smoky.
So this is the honey barbecue?
That's the honey barbecue, yes, sir.
Delicious.
And Dave, what's so nice about them, right? Just go right through with your fork. I mean,
You barely need a knife.
You barely need a knife.
Now, is this the original?
This is the original. I love eating ribs, but I just don't like to get messy, right? I'm a very clean kind of freak. So fork and knife, put it on your plate, and it's a truly phenomenal experience.
The original is a little less sweet.
It is a little less sweet.
And full of great flavor.
Definitely.
And
Absolutely.
I love that I can eat it end to end. I'm like you. I enjoy ribs, but I end up with it more on my face and my clothes than I do in my mouth.
You're right. And David, I don't know if you know this, but believe it or not, a 2-pound baby back rib actually only ends up about 14 ounces of meat.
Is that right?
Take all the bones out and all the stuff that's connected to the bones that you can't eat, it's only 14 ounces of meat. So this rib, when you get this at home in an 18-ounce portion, is like eating a 2.5 to 3-pound baby backbone in rib.
I see Rachel getting up, which means she's ready for ribs.
Come on over.
Would be so kind as to cut her some pieces.
Yes, I will.
I will remind you that we have auto delivery, and auto delivery you can change your flavor.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna grab a
So
fork.
if you decide you want to do that.
That's the
Now,
original.
if you want honey barbecue,
This is the honey barbecue.
I have fewer than 2,000. If you want the original, only 1,400. Which one are you tasting first?
This is the original?
Original, yes.
Okay, that's the
Amazing.
original.
I'm ready.
It's
Oh my
it's
goodness.
like eating like short rib, I like to say, right? It has that really
Yes.
rich meat flavor, but no bones.
Oh
And that's
my
the best
goodness,
part.
no
You get all
bones
the
at all.
benefit of the bone.
Right.
But then the bone's removed, and then the sauce has a road to travel, so every bite has sauce in it.
Exactly.
Okay, I skipped lunch today. I honestly feel like I could eat this entire thing.
Yes.
It is that
well,
good.
I'll make sure we give that to you.
Thanks, I love it. I'll just be snacking away the whole time.
Have at it.
Can I try the honey
Please.
barbecue? Because
Yes,
I'm
please.
definitely a sweet sauce kind of person.
Are you? Okay. And that's what I'm holding here. This is the honey. The honey's a little bit more of that kind of red flavor, but I want you to see how large these are, right? This is just one. So these are going to come
And you're getting
Good.
3.
You're getting 3
Oh
of
my
these.
goodness.
Yes. And they're going to last in your freezer for about 18 months. But once you thaw them out,
So a
we
year
like
and a
to
half.
say use them within like 3 or 4 days once you thaw them out.
What's the best way to prepare them, Ray?
Right on a sheet pan. So take this
Easy.
out, Yep, get it to room temperature if you wish, or just take it right out even in a frozen state. Put it on a sheet pan, about 350 to 375, depending on if you want them to be charred or not, for 20 minutes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and maybe the last 5 minutes, turn the broiler on.
I love that.
To caramelize the sauce, but
Yes.
don't walk away from the oven because it'll burn in a New York
You'll
second.
come back to a black rib if you do.
You'll come back to a smoky oven. Yeah. Not to mention a black rib. These are, help yourself
I'm
while
going
you
to have
want.
some more.
This is lovely.
I have never made ribs at home myself because I always think it's going to be too hard.
It is.
This I could do in just as easy as putting a chicken breast in the oven. I have made myself ribs.
You're right. And, you know, we were kind of laughing a minute ago, but at 18 ounces, once you eat half of that, I promise you, for you or I, it's definitely very filling. You'll sit down and be able to share this with one of your significant
And on a
others, for sure.
random Tuesday night when you come home and you never thought you could have barbecue ribs,
Right.
you can have barbecue ribs.
Right.
Now we can.
And they're easy to eat. Now, if I forget to thaw these out before I heat them up,
Yes.
what's the best way to do that?
You can either run them under cold water, just in a matter of a few minutes. It'll take about 15 minutes to thaw them out. But again, if you wanted to just take them and put them in your air fryer to heat them up, that's fine from frozen. The other nice thing about this packaging is if you're not going to eat this whole rack of ribs, just take your knife, cut right through it, put it in a bag and put it back in your refrigerator and just use that half, right? So there's so many great uses for
Enjoy,
these.
friend.
Thank you.
You know, eating them as ribs is fantastic, and it's a great experience.
You want to make sliders out of these? You want to make sandwiches out of these? You want to pull these or just have a mess of ribs on your plate along with some coleslaw and some baked beans? Or you want to do nachos?
Right.
Easy.
I mean, the nachos is one of my favorite. We made these slider rib sandwiches. This is just a 2-rib section. So there's 12 ribs on every rack. You can make 6 of these sliders, basically, per rack.
And this is the original?
That's the original, David. Yes, sir. Please, enjoy it.
For the original.
And then this is nachos, right? One of my favorite ways. Game day today. You mentioned the Eagles earlier. They're playing today, our birds.
In the snow.
Exactly, in the snow. That should be fun. But with that beautiful pork rib just kind of shredded throughout nachos or as a sandwich, however you choose to make it, it's a great experience.
Now, the original is a little less sweet than the honey barbecue.
Definitely.
You still say some sweetness, but there is less sweetness. Now, if you want the honey barbecue, we have 1,800. If you want the original, only 1,200, and there is no combo in this.
No.
Now, 600 of these have been ordered. Many of you are likening this to a fast food restaurant where they would sell a rib sandwich.
I know where you're going.
With no bones.
Yes.
Yeah, very similar idea.
It's
So this is your opportunity to really enjoy something that is delicious and you can eat it end to end and it's fully cooked. You can't mess this up.
It is, and it's funny you say that, David, because so many people compare this product to that, and they say, I know that, I've had it at that sandwich shop. That is not at all what this is. What that is at that sandwich shop is ground beef formed into the shape of a rib that they add sauce to it to make it feel, and seasonings to make it feel like actually baby back ribs. That's why they don't call it baby back rib. They just call it XYZ rib, right? This is real, authentic baby back rib meat. We can do this with a baby back rib, and we can do it with a St. Louis
They
rib.
call this the filet mignon of ribs.
That's right.
Because there's typically more meat. This is a great, well, this is 2 pieces of the original.
Yes, please. Dig in and jump in.
And you're barely chewing because it melts in your mouth.
It really does. It's so soft and tender, and that's all due to that cook process, right? So in how we marinated it, dry rubbed it, let it sit for about that 4-hour period, and then slow smoked it. And you can see when you get it at home and you cut through it with your knife, you'll see all those little pops.